You think you can steal from me? Drop my money right now, thief!
No, please, I didn't. I'm sorry.
The young man's voice cut through the entire restaurant. Every head turned. The waitress froze beside the table, holding a tray. The young man stood up slowly. Before you walk away, maybe you should return what you just stole. Gasps rippled across the room. The young woman looked stunned, but she said nothing. The billionaire's son stepped closer. You think I didn't see you? He pulled out his wallet. There was $500 here when I sat down. He looked directly at her. And now it's gone. The restaurant fell completely silent. The waitress gripped the tray tightly. Her hands trembled, but she still didn't say a word. The young man laughed coldly. Of course you're quiet. People like you always are when they get caught. But what he didn't know was that someone important had just walked into the restaurant, and he had heard every single word. This happened inside one of the most famous restaurants in the city. The waitress's name was Maya, 22 years old, working double shifts to support her sick mother. Her uniform was simple but clean. She stood there quietly while dozens of strangers stared at her. Some whispered, some shook their heads. Jason Carter, the billionaire's son, raised his voice again. Should I call the manager or the police? Maya's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't defend herself. She only whispered softly, I didn't take anything, sir. Jason scoffed loudly. That's exactly what someone who stole would say. A few diners murmured. One woman even pulled her purse closer. Maya's cheeks burned with humiliation. She had never felt so small. That's when a deep voice spoke from behind Jason. That will be enough. The room went silent. Jason turned. Standing there was Richard Carter, his father, and the owner of half the city's biggest businesses. Richard's expression was cold. What's going on here? Jason smirked confidently. This waitress stole money from my wallet. Richard looked at Maya. Then he looked back at his son. Slowly, he reached into Jason's jacket pocket and pulled out a folded stack of cash, the exact amount. Ethan froze. The room gasped. Richard's voice dropped to a quiet, dangerous tone. You put the money in the wrong pocket. Silence filled the restaurant. Richard turned to Maya. I'm very sorry for what my son just did to you. Then he looked back at Jason. Apologize. Jason's face paled. Dad, now. Jason swallowed hard. I'm sorry. But Richard wasn't finished. He looked around the restaurant. Then he said something that stayed with everyone in the room. A person who humiliates the innocent has learned nothing about the value of dignity. And that night, everyone in the restaurant learned something unforgettable. Wealth may raise your status, but character reveals your worth. If you believe no one deserves to be humiliated for their job, drop a heart in the comments and share this story with someone who believes respect matters more than money. Follow for more stories that teach life lessons.